Nice to see you, Janice. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for inviting me to come here. I know we have some business to talk about, but anyway, how are you? How's things? How's things at the office? I heard that there is a 65th anniversary coming up next year, right?
Yes, we're looking forward to our anniversary. Actually, it's our 50th coming up, not our 65th.
I'm curious as to when you guys are going to start selling tickets. I haven't heard anything about that happening. When's that going to start?
We will start advertising students soon. We're still working out the final details, but certainly we will be in touch. Maybe it would be a good idea to sell some tickets through your agency if we could, through the club.
Oh, that's a good idea. I think that sounds really nice. For this meeting today, I would like to discuss a few concerns that I have with the staff of your organization. And I think that's because I thought it was the 65th anniversary because your staff told me there seems to be little miscommunications that are really building up. And my organization, the Deaf Club, doesn't feel involved. And I'm really concerned about this, that the staff of your organization doesn't know ASL very well, and it's impacting communication.
Well, we do have one deaf staff member with us who, my understanding is, signs quite fluently. Our other staff members have been encouraged to keep developing their sign language skills, and for the most part seem to be able to communicate quite well with the clients. Have you had different experiences?
Yes, my experience definitely is different. How many staff does your organization have? Can you tell me?
We currently have 6 full-time staff with us. 1 deaf and 5 hearing.
Oh, that explains it then. So there's 1 deaf staff and 5 hearing staff. Okay, I understand that the deaf staff member is a counselor and that there's 2 hearing staff that have really limited sign, and it's very frustrating to communicate with them. It really should be that all of them should have fluent ASL skills. I strongly suspect that those 2 really do need that extra push to learn ASL. They should go to a class. They should pay to go to an ASL class, perhaps outside of the organization, because interpreters just clarifying. Those 2 hearing staff members, their signing is not up to par, and it's very frustrating. The fact that only 1 of your staff members can really fluently sign is not a good sign. I've heard in the community that these particular two staff members have gone to classes, but regularly they haven't gone at all. And I feel it's a real waste of money because they're not utilizing that class to the best of their ability, and they're not taking sign language seriously, and that is unsatisfactory to me.
It concerns me that you felt the need to check up on our staff. And I'm really disappointed to hear what you found, that they weren't at class. But let me also explain that I'm working within a system. My employees are connected with a union. Requiring them to develop second language skills is not something I'm able to do through the union agreement. I can encourage them for continuing education to continue to develop their skills that they'll use on site. But my experience has been thus far that clients are generally well served. If there's a problem communicating in sign language, staff will be very creative. They'll use pen and paper. Clients will write back and forth with staff. It doesn't seem to be a problem.
It's not that I'm deliberately snooping. The deaf community is small, and as soon as that happened, I learned about it, and it really pissed me off. I was so angry to hear that they weren't going to class regularly. That sign wasn't valued, and I'm really disgusted by that. It should be a requirement that any staff member of this organization should be able to sign, not deliberately avoid signing classes. This is a non-profit agency, and I'm really disgusted with their behavior. And you're saying that, okay, all these other options that they could write or gesture. And honestly, the community is looking down on the staff because they don't have the skills needed to do their job. Just getting by isn't good enough. How would I get in contact with the union?
Well, if you feel you need to pursue this issue with the union, you can get their information from our website. But let me say that every year, annually, the agency does send out an extensive survey to our clients, asking them for feedback, asking them to bring forward concerns. We get almost no response, which leads me to believe that in general the clients are very happy. And I'm surprised to see you here now bringing forward these concerns and saying they're representative of the entire community, when this is the first really we've heard of it.
It's true that the deaf community isn't strong in their English skills, and that you would get a high response from the survey isn't really something that's going to happen. And honestly, that's why you're not getting the response of people complaining. If the survey was in sign, I think you would receive different results. The problem is with the English side of the survey. If it was in ASL, you'd have a different response. Your agency doesn't have that close relationship with the deaf community. And that survey is very disconnected, and honestly, the process is very frustrating. You need the deaf community involved in ways to change your organization for the better. They need to be involved.
I haven't had experience with town hall meetings in the past, and I appreciate your points regarding maybe that our survey isn't producing the results that we were hoping it would have. I am concerned about setting my staff up in a large public community forum to be open to a lot of criticism. That concerns me, and I want to protect my staff. I'd like to work more closely with you, and I appreciate the offer. How would you envision the town hall working? Who would host it? How would communication work? Would we need interpreters? What do you envision it looking like?
I'm so happy that you're going about this with an open mind. It's not a requirement that the staff has to be there for the town hall meeting. There can absolutely be an ASL English interpreter provided for the service as well. It's not going to be an accusatory kind of meeting where insults are going to be passed around. Not at all. We can gather questions to facilitate the meeting. Say 5 questions that we plan ahead of time that are ready, that someone can lead the meeting and be in control. We're asking the community for their opinions, their perspectives, where they see the organization in 5 years. What issues need to be solved? How can we improve the organization? It's really essential that we pick the right facilitator for these questions. The staff doesn't have to be there. I'd like to emphasize that as well. It'd be nice to show their support, but they don't have to be there. Also, the meeting, it's very important that the meeting is somewhere close to the SkyTrain so people can get there easily by using public transit. And it's also important that everyone is in the community is told where and when this meeting would happen, preferably 2 months before it happens. That way everyone can clear their schedule and go to the town hall meeting.
It's funny when you said the interpreter would be there for me. I always assume that the interpreter is there for the deaf person, so I think that's important realization. I was thinking perhaps a town hall concept where our agency and your club could work together, and maybe the first part of the town hall, a short part of the town hall could be for the community to give some feedback on how they'd like to see things improved, and then the rest of the town hall meeting could be designated to planning the 50th anniversary so that we could keep the spirit of the meeting more positive. That might feel more comfortable and more safe for our staff members. Do you think that that might be a reasonable idea?
Oh, absolutely, I agree. Hearing people tend to think that the interpreter is for the deaf person, but really the interpreter is there to service or facilitate communication between both hearing and deaf parties. Oh, that's a great idea. I'm not sure if the meeting will be completely successful because of how many pent-up emotions are there, but once that is out in the open, about an hour and a half later, and concerns are dealt with, people can absolutely stay and discuss what to do for the 50th anniversary. And I think that's a great idea. I think that would be wonderful for the deaf community to also see our partnership in this. And I definitely want to see a strong partnership between the two of us. So yeah, an hour and a half will be great. We can go through all the questions and concerns, vote, and go through everything. And people, at that point, people could either stay or leave, and then we could start a conversation about the anniversary. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
I'd like to work with the club, and we are committed to providing responsive service and quality service. Maybe this town hall could be the first of others that we do together. Maybe rather than that annual survey, we work together to do town halls together, our feedback, and it could be the beginning of improving our agency here and being more responsive to our clients. I'm glad you suggested it, and I think it would be a good opportunity to work together. We'd like you involved with the 50th anniversary.
There's one more comment I'd like to tell you before I leave. Now, the 2 staff members that their signing isn't so good, I feel like they're good people, but they really do need to develop their signing skills, be more involved in the deaf community. And the fact that there's constant miscommunications is so frustrating. Because I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that this organization is here to service the deaf community, And ASL is so essential in that. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time.
I'm looking forward to working with you too, and I think we'll probably need to schedule more meetings. I'd like to know, how long does it take to become fluent? I mean, if our secretary was to join the curling club, how long are we looking at for her to really become a fluent signer? What's your opinion on that?
Honestly, it depends on the person, how fast they pick up sign language. Some people take time. There's certain programs that are 10 months. And if they already work to the office and then go to the classes, I mean, you'd pick it up, It really depends on the person themselves, whether they would learn it quite quickly or they would need more time to learn ASL.
Would you be available to meet again next week? And maybe we could go over some ideas for our staff developing their sign language skills? And I could book an interpreter for myself.
Absolutely, that would be great. Before I do that, I'm going to consult with the deaf community as well, because this does affect them. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciated it.
See you next week.